Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Africa, tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. America, tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze.
You are listening to African Father in America podcast by Simon Javan Okello, live from Seattle, Washington, UAE.
Greetings, beautiful people. My name is Simon Javan Okello. I am excited to be here with you for another amazing episode of the African Father in America podcast. We are broadcasting live on YouTube, and we are also live on Clubhouse. I am excited really to be here with you because, as usual, we have a new African proverb, and our proverb today is going to be from Morocco. So, stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. And in just a moment, you're going to learn what the proverb is. And also, you're going to learn three nuggets of wisdom that this proverb comes with. So if you are joining me on YouTube, thank you so much. I deeply appreciate your presence. If you are joining me on Clubhouse, thank you so much. I also appreciate your presence. But if you will be listening to this later on, or if you will be watching this later on, I also thank you. And I want to ask you to share your own thoughts about this proverb in the comments if you're watching this video on YouTube, so that I know what it means to you. I'm about to share the proverb here in just a second, so stay tuned. The proverb says that let us sit bent, but talk straight. Let us sit bent, but talk straight. What is it that comes to your mind when you hear this proverb? Let us sit bent, but talk straight. What is it that comes to your mind when you hear this amazing proverb from Morocco? So many things come to my mind when I hear this amazing proverb from Morocco. And this proverb, according to Moroccan culture, we find that respect for elders and community leaders is highly valued. And many times in Moroccan culture, and also in many cultures, true leaders are expected to speak their minds. No matter what the situation is, true leaders are always more is expected of true leaders. So, today as we continue on with our conversation, I'm just about to share three nuggets of wisdom that my team and I gathered to share with you. And these three nuggets were inspired by this proverb from Morocco. So if you're just joining us for the first time, thank you so much. I see that Marlen is here with us after a while. Hey Marlen, how are you doing? Just say hello quickly before I share the three nuggets of wisdom.
Hi Simon, nice to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me up to the stage. I love your room. Much love.
Much love to you. I'm just happy that you took the time to join us today. We are live streaming on YouTube. So for those who haven't joined us there, the link is at the very top of the room. And today we are really focusing on this amazing proverb from Morocco that says that let us sit bent, but talk straight. I want to share a few things that this proverb is teaching us about. Number one, this proverb is teaching us that sometimes we need to be humble in order to get along with others. Being bent over or humble shows that we are willing to listen and communicate in an honest way. Number two, it is important to be truthful in our conversations, even if it means having tough conversations. Talking straight allows for clarity and understanding. And then number three, finally, it says that it is beneficial to be humble and honest in our conversations because it builds trust and strengthens relationships. So those are the three nuggets that my team and I prepared for you when we were preparing for today's conversation that is grounded on this wonderful Moroccan proverb. I want to really open the floor in a moment to hear what you all have to say in regards to this proverb. What is it that comes to your mind when you hear this proverb? So if you're watching on YouTube, thank you so much. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so, and also give this video a thumbs up. That's how we can help grow this channel. It helps with YouTube algorithm. The thumbs ups, the comments, the shares are actually very valuable for the growth of this platform that we have been building for years. The African Father in America podcast has been around for the last 2 years. It's now a 5-star rated podcast on Apple. This is episode number 289. We are almost at 300, and this growth is really because of the love that you are all giving me and this work that we are doing. So without going too far, I want to invite a few other voices, because similar to the way that life was in my African village where I grew up, almost all the evenings that I spent with my grandmother, we always had the fire in her kitchen going, and after dinner we would sit around the fire and talk about the day and dissect different proverbs, different stories. And this is how I feel whenever I am hosting the daily African Proverbs. I feel like we are around the bonfire somewhere in the village. And so in the bonfire, you have to allow for different voices to be heard. And so I shared what I think that this proverb means, but I want to invite all of you to also share your perspectives, whether you're watching on YouTube and or listening on Clubhouse, where we can actually hear your contribution in real time. So we will quickly go to Marlene again. And Marlene, just share with us where you are in the world at this moment and what this proverb means to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Simon. Hi, everyone. I'm in San Diego, California, and what this means to me is a couple of things that came to mind. So maybe in the last year or two, I heard something that really resonated with me, and I found truth, like really deep truth, that goes for so many things. It's basically like, I'm not going to say the proverb or the saying correctly, but that a crooked tree can live its whole life out and just live its whole life out, but a straight tree becomes a board. Okay. And I found that very beautiful and very resonant with me. So and I think that's kind of self-explanatory, right? So I'll leave it there. And then the other thing that came to mind is that, yes, I can be in many ways, broken and healing and a messy and lots of things inside of myself. But what I exude with my voice and with my actions and my expressions, and things like that, I can make it so other people um, can see me, you know, um, in a way that they can understand, and that's not what I strive for. I really strive to understand other people more than I seek to be understood. But at the same time, what comes off, especially like in my job, you know, and just to the outside world, I think it's best that I'm not telling them everything about my passions or my hobbies or my all of the things that go on with me, because there's too much. So just what I express can be understandable and succinct and in some ways relatable, because we seek connection, right? So thank you for letting me share. I could definitely go on a long more time about this, but that's what I'll share for now. Thank you all for listening. Much love.
Yeah, much love to you as well, Marlene. Yeah, I appreciate your contribution deeply, and I can totally relate. We will definitely have more time for you to add a few comments here and there as we continue on with our conversation. And I just want to welcome Hey HD. who has been a regular attendee of the African Father in America podcast. And also, I want to urge you, if you are on Clubhouse, take a second and ping in 3 to 5 people in your own network to join us here right now as we continue on with our conversation. But also, I want you to join us on the stage if you can, so that we can also hear your voice and your contribution to today's proverb. If you're just joining us now on YouTube, I deeply appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, this is a good time for you to do that. And I want to open the floor to another great contributor to this platform, Brother Earth. How are you doing? Where are you? And what does this proverb mean to you?
Peace and love, family. This is Brother Earth. I'm coming from the North Carolina territory once again. And always, gratitude for sharing the wisdom of the ancestors. And when I see this poem, what it makes me think of is there's two things that it makes me think of. And the first one, and one of the lessons of Noble Drew Ali is it says, "How humble should man be?" And the answer is, man should be humble as if you are weak and ignorant. And when I first, looked at that, it threw me off. But, as I start listening to what you said, but also as I start growing and listening, when you act humble and ignorant, a lot of time, weak and ignorant, for one, like you said, you don't come off as intimidating, and it'll give a person an opportunity to truly express how they feel. And when you act ignorant, I like to ask a lot of questions for clarity. It's not that I'm acting ignorant, but I know sometimes that I listen for what I want to hear, and to make sure I'm not listening for what I want to hear, I oftentimes ask questions for clarity. And sometimes people say you asking a stupid question, but just for my purpose of clarity, I like to ask. So that was the first thing it makes me think of. And the second thing it makes me think of is, say what you mean and mean what you say. I'm gonna say this: for a long time, or for a long time, I was a people pleaser, and I would say things but not mean it, or I would say a lot of things that I didn't mean or that I didn't feel within trying to, please other people. But I had to come to the understanding that, I have to stand up for me and say what I feel is right first and foremost. And that, that's talking straight. And, however they feel, that's just where they at. But, I got to say what I mean and mean what I say. And I'm going to park my plane right there. Peace and love, Brother Earth.
Peace and love to you, Brother Earth. I love that. I love, especially when you speak about the importance of saying what you mean and meaning what you say. A lot of the time, people don't even think about what they're saying. A lot of us are just influenced by what others are saying or what we see. And so we really don't put enough work into what is it that we are saying, and are we really committing to what we are saying right now? So I appreciate your contribution deeply, and I just want to thank everyone who is listening in, and also thank everyone who is watching on YouTube. We want to continue on with our conversation. I want to invite Lavender to also just add her perspectives on our conversation today. If you're just joining us, this is the African Father in America podcast. We are broadcasting live on YouTube, and we are also live on Clubhouse, which is a social audio app where people can listen in and also contribute to the ongoing conversation. So if you're hearing voices and you're watching this on YouTube and wondering why or how that is happening, we are multi-streaming on 2 platforms and are able to really create this experience that I think is beautiful. So Lavender, how are you? Where are you? And what do you think about today's proverb? Thank you for being here.
Hi Simon, hi everyone. This is Lavender. I'm speaking from Nairobi, Kenya. Thank you all for being here, and I'm truly grateful to be able to engage with you all. My thoughts about today's proverb: let us sit bent but talk straight. Brother mentioned something about humility and talking straight. What I'd like to add is that in all our humility, we shouldn't forget, let's not sweeten things or say things that we don't mean, like brother said. You might be in a position to help somebody or change somebody's life by just telling them the truth, being straight with them. And we are encouraged to be humble, but let's remember that that doesn't mean we encourage
Yeah,
sorry, someone kept calling me and it keeps cutting me off. My apologies about that. Let's not forget that being humble doesn't mean making something seem like what it's not, or lying or pretending. We can always be straight, but in a very kind and thoughtful way. Thank you, Simon, for the opportunity to share. This is Lavender, and I'm done speaking.
Thank you so much, Lavender, for your contribution, and welcome, Panyardit. And also, I see that Miss Lashede is here with us. Thank you again for joining us. We are here discussing an African proverb from Morocco, and we are dissecting it, understanding what it means to each one of us. Earlier on, I shared 3 nuggets of wisdom that were inspired by this proverb. So you can listen to the replay if you are on Clubhouse. But this episode of the African Father in America podcast, this is episode 289. It's going to be available on all podcasting platforms, from Spotify to Apple Podcasts to even if you're listening to music on Alexa. You can always ask for the African Father in America podcast and you will hear it. I was listening to it on Alexa yesterday and I really enjoyed it. And also, Amazon Music, it's available all over, and we've had over 150,000 downloads for the African Father in America podcast so far. So it's growing, and it's because of the time that you're creating to be here with us, whether it's on YouTube or on Clubhouse, in a consistent manner. We've been very, very consistent and determined with growing this platform. So Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, we do this. That's 4 p.m. East African Time, and it is 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So join us whenever you can. I want to welcome Stella as well, who just joined us in the space. If you're on Clubhouse, I want you to take a minute and ping in 3 to 5 people to join us right now for the conversation, and also share the link to this conversation on Clubhouse. I deeply appreciate the support. And for the sake of those who are just joining us, we are discussing a proverb from Morocco. It says that let us sit bent but talk straight. Let us sit bent, but talk straight. So I want to invite Stella to just speak a little, briefly about this proverb, and also share with us where she's joining us from around the world right now. And we will continue on with our conversation that way. Thank you so much. Hey Stella, I know you're speaking, but there's something that might not be right with your microphone because I can't hear you. So I will come back to you in just a second once you're able to adjust. Thank you again. This week has been great here in the African Father in America podcast. We've been, doing this Monday to Friday. Tomorrow is one of our, just the end of this week for us. And we had a great guest yesterday, by the way. Chioma Sheri was our guest, and she shared an amazing poem. And I have a nice video clip of that poem. So it's actually an audio clip where she's just narrating that poem. And I want to share it with as many people as possible so that you can also share it on your social media platforms and tag me to really share the poem, but also help grow this platform. So if you're interested, DM me on Instagram and I'll DM you that clip. It's less than a minute. You will watch it if you like it. You listen to it if you like it. You can post it as a story, a reel, and tag me so that we can help grow this community one proverb at a time. Let's check in with Stella again. Stella, are you in a position to share your thoughts about this proverb from Morocco? Yeah, there's definitely poor connection today, Stella. So it's definitely not your fault. We will wait and see if maybe we can hear what Steve has to say, then come back to you. Hey Steve, how are you? Where are you joining us from? And what does this proverb from Morocco mean to you? This proverb says that let us sit bent but talk straight. What does it mean to you? Let us sit bent but talk straight.
Thank you, Simon, for having me. And I'm Steven, joining from Kisumu, Kenya. When I look at this proverb, what comes to my mind is we shouldn't set our limits because everything is possible irrespective of where we are coming from or where we are at. So we shouldn't just stop dreaming because of what people think about us or what we think about ourselves. So what it sends to me is just pursuing your goal irrespective of where you are coming from. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. I love what you said, that we should never stop dreaming, and we should always continue pursuing our goals no matter where we are coming from, no matter what we are being faced with. That is definitely a message that resonates with me personally, and I appreciate you for taking the time and for supporting the show consistently. I want to thank you, Tanya, for joining us as well. And MK, thank you for always supporting. I deeply appreciate it. We've been here for almost 30 minutes. We have 5 more minutes to go. And I want to check in with Stella one more time because it's really important that everybody has a voice here in the African Father in America podcast. Stella, let's try one more time. Okay, great. So I assume that Stella is unable to speak, and we will miss hearing from you today, but just know that we deeply appreciate you. Stella is part of my team at One Vibe Africa and One Vibe Media, and she's very, very dedicated to helping make this show happen consistently. I also see that we've been joined by Leisha. Thank you for being here. Feel free to join us on the stage, introduce yourself, and just know that we've been here for almost 30 minutes, and we do this daily, not daily, but Monday to Friday. And we are one of the few podcasts in the world that produce 5 episodes per week. Besides the big brands, there are very, very few grassroots podcasts that are so persistent, so stubborn, and so great at what we do. And our goal is that we continue doing this show Monday to Friday, because we are not doing it for ourselves. We are doing this for our children. We are doing this to make our ancestors proud, especially because each episode is grounded on an African proverb. And we don't just take these African proverbs and flip through them, but we sit with them and try to understand what is it that our ancestors who created these proverbs were thinking when they created these proverbs. Where were they? What were they talking about? And what can we say about it that we can pass to our children? I literally listen to each of these episodes with my children as I drive them to school, and sometime even when we're having breakfast, we listen to this content. So it's important to me personally, and I know the value of why I do it, and that's why every Monday to Friday you will see me here. Even when you're not here, you can always count on me being here. And for me, I believe that as an African diaspora, we must have content that is reliable, that centers who we are and elevates who we are in an honest way. The way this proverb is saying, this proverb is saying, let us sit bent, but talk straight. That means that as an African living here in the diaspora, I'll be humble because I know that I'm an immigrant, and immigrants are always expected to be working 9 to 5, to be slaving basically, but still, this is the moment where we can talk straight. This is the moment where we can speak about how proud we are of our culture and how incredible these nuggets of wisdom we get from these proverbs are for our own well-being. So I want to create space for Tanya to also speak, and I want to welcome Muje and Charles to the space. I want to encourage you, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, it's right at the top of the room. If you click that link, you'll literally see my face speaking right now, and you can subscribe, you can give this video a thumbs up, and that way you're helping cement this platform as a staple for many people now and in the future. Tanya, how are you doing? Where are you joining us from? And what does this proverb that we're talking about mean to you?
Hi, my name's Tanya. I'm from Boston, Massachusetts, and I actually entered this room by accident, but I don't believe in accidents, so I love the proverb. For me, it means to sit bent. So sit and be able to bend with other people's perspectives, other people's truths, but speak your truth, speak straight. So to me, it's just allowing empathy, allowing to hear other people's version of their universe, of their experience here in this lifetime. And you don't have to agree with their opinions, but allow yourself to bend to other perspectives, because you may learn, but speak your truth. That's what it means to me. Thank you very much for allowing me to share.
Of course. Thank you again for joining us. It means a lot, and I can't wait to see you again, and since we are coming to the tail end of our conversation, I just want to thank everyone who is with us right now, listening in on Clubhouse. I do see that Charles wants to contribute, so we'll allow you to share briefly, and then I want to say a few things before we wrap up. So Charles, share with us where in the world you're joining us from and what today's proverb from Morocco means to you. It says, let us sit bent but talk straight. Thank you.
Yes, good to see you, Simon, and everyone in the room. Uh, I just got out of another room that basically is kind of taking that same wisdom. But when I first saw it, the proverb, "Let us sit bent but talk straight," I thought of the topic of their room is we need to slow down to speed up. And uh, so if we're going to sit, it means that we're going to think, right? It means that we have the ability, uh, when we sit with others, to actually communicate directly and not just have whatever connection we have, but to build a relationship, to bend when the mind, before we respond with some action that may not be well thought out and that may continue to divide us, right? But by sitting and speaking and talking about what's important, then we can actually come up with a solution that would benefit both. We can sit alone, we can think, but it's even better when we sit together and discuss what we're going to do, what's important, and how to help not only ourselves, but the community that we're in. So I'm Charles. I'm in Tampa, Florida, USA. Thank you very much.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, Charles, for joining us and for also sharing your nuggets of wisdom related to today's proverb. I deeply appreciate it. And with these few, contributions and comments that we've had during our show today, we've come to the tail end of our time together. I want you to, if you're watching this on YouTube, we have a lot of content that we are sharing, and you can tap the link that is on the screen now so that you can tap into some of our other proverbs that we are going to be sharing every Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We have really great proverbs. We rarely repeat these proverbs because there are so many African proverbs, and I just commend Stella for the research that you do, and Steve and Lavender for the support that you're giving me as part of our team. And I want to encourage anyone who is on Clubhouse, if you want to stay connected with me, you can actually follow me on Instagram, and that is also the place where we share this proverb before we have this live broadcast. So if you want to be amongst the first to know what the proverb of the day is, then the best place to do that is by following me on Instagram. My handle is at Okello Javan. Thank you all so much, and have a beautiful day or night, depending on where in the world you are. Take care of yourselves.
African father in America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. African father in America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze.
You are listening to African Father in America podcast by Simon Javan Okello, live from Seattle, Washington, USA.